African night. The sounds of the savannah fade away, leaving only the distant roar that makes the heart stop. Somewhere in the darkness roam the kings of beasts, searching for easy prey. And by the cattle pen stands a boy with a flashlight, the only protection between hungry lions and the family's livestock. This child is only 12 years old, but he will do what governments and international organizations with their million-dollar budgets could not. He will save thousands of lions from extinction. And it all began with one simple light bulb. To understand the scale of the tragedy, let us go back a century. At that time, more than 200,000 lions roamed the African savannas. These majestic predators ruled the continent, keeping ecosystems in balance, controlling the numbers of herbivores, and preserving harmony in the wild. Lions lived not only in Africa, they could also be found in India, the Middle East, Central Asia, and even in some parts of Europe. They were the true kings of the animal world, a symbol of the power and strength of nature. But in the last 100 years, humanity has destroyed more than 90% of the lion population. From 200,000, only about 23,000 remain. The International Union for Conservation of Nature recorded a catastrophic decline, 43% just between 1993 and 2014. If nothing changes, by 2050, we may see the last wild lion only in a zoo or in a photo in a history textbook. During this time, lions lost more than 92% of their historical range. Cities are expanding, farms are taking over the savannas, and roads are cutting through migration corridors. Predators have been trapped in small reserves and are forced to search for food closer and closer to human settlements. And this inevitably leads to conflicts that almost always end with the death of a lion. In Kenya, this problem is especially severe. Nairobi National Park is the only place in the world where wild animals roam freely right next to a large modern city. This remarkable proximity creates a unique ecosystem, but it also brings tragedy. At night, lions leave the park and head to farms, where easy prey is waiting, livestock in the pens. To understand the full drama of the situation, you need to know the culture of the Maasai people. For them, cows are not just animals. They are the base of their economy, their culture, their life. There is an ancient Maasai belief that all the cows in the world were sent to them from the heavens for their care and protection. A cow gives milk and meat. The money from selling cattle sends children to school. Cows take part in wedding rituals and define the social status of a family. To lose a cow for a Maasai is the same as losing part of the soul. When a lion kills a cow, the farmer loses months or even years of hard work. A family can be left without any means to live. And then the old tradition of Maasai warriors comes into play, the lion hunt with a spear. Killing a lion is considered a heroic act, proof of bravery and strength. Warriors track the predator and kill it in fair battle, protecting their community. This vicious circle continued for centuries. A lion kills a cow, a man kills a lion. In this tragic story, there is one hero whose name the world must know. His name is Richard Turere, and when he came up with a solution that changed the fate of thousands of lions, he was only 12 years old. Richard was born into a Maasai family in Kitengela, a small settlement on the edge of Nairobi National Park. His home was only a few kilometers from the place where lions, giraffes, buffaloes, and rhinos roam freely. From the age of 9, Richard had the honorable duty of herding the family's cows. Every morning he took the herd to pasture, and in the evening he drove the animals into a special pen, a boma, fenced with thorny acacia branches. But it was at night that the real problems began. Lions crept up to the pen and easily jumped over the low fence. The locked cows became helpless targets. Richard's family was losing up to 3 cows every week. This was a true disaster for the household. The boy's father, like many Maasai of his generation, was an experienced lion hunter. His body still carried scars from fights with predators, reminders of the times when a warrior's honor was measured by the number of lions he had killed. He was preparing his son for the traditional path. If a lion kills your cattle, you must kill the lion. But Richard had a special gift. He loved taking apart and putting back together electronic devices. In the village, he was known as the boy who could fix a broken radio or television. He was self-taught, learning through experiments and mistakes. When his family bought their first television, Richard watched it for one day, and the next day he took it apart to see how the people lived inside it. This curiosity and passion for technology set him completely apart from his peers, who preferred to play warriors and lions. Every night Richard kept watch over the cattle pen, armed with a simple flashlight. He walked around the perimeter, shone into the darkness, and listened to every sound. The work was exhausting and dangerous. Loneliness, fear, and lack of sleep. But it was during these night watches that the boy made the observation that changed everything. Richard noticed a clear pattern. When he walked with the flashlight, the lions did not come near the pen. As soon as he stopped or turned off the light, the predators appeared nearby. They were afraid of moving light because they connected it with the presence of a person. Lions are intelligent animals. They know that people are dangerous, and they avoid direct encounters with them. It was enough to create the illusion that a guard with a flashlight was always watching over the cows. The insight came suddenly. What if he could make the light move automatically without needing a person there? What if he could trick the lions into thinking that a guard was patrolling all night? At 12 years old, Richard needed only a few weeks to bring this revolutionary idea to life. He built his invention from simple materials: an old car battery, motorcycle turn signals, a few bulbs, and some wires. The only thing that had to be bought was a solar panel to charge the battery. The total cost of the first prototype was about $10. Richard placed the lamps around the pen, about 15 meters apart, and connected them to a system that made the lights flash in a random pattern, imitating the movement of a person with a flashlight. The result exceeded all expectations. On the very first night after installing the lion lights, no lions appeared. On the second night as well. A week, a month, half a year. Not a single attack. For the first time in many years, Richard's family slept peacefully, and the cows were safe. A 12-year-old boy did what fences, scarecrows, and constant guarding could not achieve. The secret of success was in its simplicity and in understanding predator behavior. Lions are cautious animals. They will not fight without a strong reason. Random flashes of light created the impression that a watchful person was near the cows, ready to protect the herd. Because of this, the predators chose easier prey elsewhere. The news about the amazing invention quickly spread through the village. Neighbors began asking Richard to install the same systems on their farms. The boy refused no one, freely setting up lion lights at the homes of friends and relatives. Each installation brought the same incredible result. The lion attacks stopped completely. The true turning point in Richard's life came when his invention was discovered by Paula Kahumbu, the executive director of Wildlife Direct, an organization for the protection of wildlife. She studied the conflict between people and lions and was astonished by the elegance of the solution found by a 12-year-old boy. Paula helped Richard get a scholarship at the prestigious Brookhouse School in Nairobi and organized his talk at TED. In 2013, at the age of 13, Richard walked onto the TED stage in Long Beach, California. His talk was called "My Invention That Made Peace with Lions." A modest boy from an African village told the audience about his simple solution to a difficult problem. The video of his talk gained millions of views and brought him international recognition. From that moment on, lion lights began their triumphant spread across the continent. Conservation organizations, government agencies, and international foundations became interested in the technology. Richard founded the Lion Lights organization, which began large-scale production and installation of the systems. The technology was constantly improved. Stronger solar panels appeared, reliable batteries, and programmable controllers capable of creating complex random flash sequences. Modern lion lights are no longer a homemade device made of car parts, but a high-tech protection system. Solar panels provide autonomous operation, the software creates unpredictable light patterns, and the durable casing protects the electronics from the harsh conditions of the African climate. But the principle remained the same. Trick the predator by making it believe that a person is nearby. The story of Richard's father became a symbol of change in Maasai society. This man, whose body is covered with numerous scars from battles with lions, was one of the most respected hunters in the tribe. His honor was measured by the number of predators he had killed. But when he saw how his son's invention worked, his worldview changed completely. Now he proudly says, "My son found a path stronger than the spear. He did what we could not. He defeated the lion without a single drop of blood. This is a symbolic transition from an age of violence to an age of harmony, from a generation that solved problems with force to a generation that uses reason and technology. In traditional Maasai villages, where for centuries the honor of a warrior was measured by the number of lions he had killed, now young people dream of becoming engineers and inventors. Instead of spears, they pick up soldering irons and wires. Instead of hunting predators, they think of ways to protect themselves without causing harm. By 2023, lion light systems were protecting more than 14,000 households across Africa. The geography of the project spread far beyond Kenya. The devices now work successfully in Tanzania, Botswana, Namibia, and Zimbabwe. But most amazing is that the idea stepped beyond the continent and proved its universality. In India, lion lights were adapted to protect against tigers and leopards. In Argentina, farmers used them against jaguars and pumas. The principle of scaring predators with light turned out to be universal. It works against any nocturnal hunter that fears humans. Even elephants that destroy crops can be driven away with properly placed flashing lights. The effectiveness of lion lights is confirmed not only by the absence of attacks on livestock, but also by strict scientific studies. In areas where these systems were installed, the number of lions killed in retaliation for attacking livestock dropped sharply. This led to the recovery of predator populations. In Kenya, the statistics show a real miracle. In the last decade, the number of lions grew by 25%, from 2,000 animals in 2010 to 2,589 in 2021. This is a unique case in African conservation history, when the population of large predators not only stopped declining, but began to grow. Meanwhile, in most other African countries, the number of lions is still falling catastrophically. The success of the Kenyan model attracted the attention of the international community. Richard became a symbol of a new generation of African inventors and conservationists. In 2023, he received the prestigious Young Inventors Prize from the European Patent Office, surpassing hundreds of competitors from around the world and receiving 20,000 euros in prize money. But for Richard, recognition and money are not the most important things. His Lion Lights organization not only produces and installs lighting systems, but also runs educational programs with local communities. More than 50 young people from his home village work in the project, learn technology, and help spread the idea of balance between people and wildlife. Lion Lights became a catalyst for broader changes in conservation strategy. The Kenyan government included the technology in the National Lion Protection Program. International organizations are funding research and the development of new system modifications. Universities are studying the effect of light barriers on the behavior of different predator species. The most important thing is the change in people's thinking. Lion Lights prove that it is possible to find solutions that benefit both humans and nature. There is no need to choose between community prosperity and the preservation of wildlife. It is enough to show creativity and look at the problem from a new angle. The technology showed a path from confrontation to cooperation. Today, Richard Tourer is 24 years old. He studies global challenges and wildlife conservation at the African Leadership University, speaks at international conferences, and continues to improve his technology. His childhood dream was to become an aviation engineer, but now all his energy is directed toward developing projects connected with protecting nature. In his office hangs a map of Africa, marked with all the places where Lion Lights are working. Each dot is a family that no longer loses livestock to predator attacks. Each dot is lions that are still alive because there is no longer a reason for revenge. More than 14,000 protected families, thousands of saved lions, and a changed culture of attitude toward wildlife. All this began with the observation of a 12-year-old boy. Richard often repeats the motto of his organization: no existence without coexistence. To live in harmony in this world, people and wild animals must find a way to live peacefully side by side. Lion Lights are living proof that this is possible. The story of Richard Tourer shows that innovation can come from anywhere. Huge laboratories, million-dollar budgets, or armies of scientists are not always needed. Sometimes careful observation, persistence, and a few light bulbs are enough to change the fate of an entire species. If a 12-year-old boy from an African village could save thousands of lions, imagine what we, adults, educated people with access to modern technologies and resources, can do. Lions are still under threat of extinction. In most African countries, their numbers continue to decline. Poaching, loss of habitat, and climate change still endanger the survival of the species. But the example of Kenya proves that the trend can be reversed. What is needed is willpower, creativity, and an understanding that humans and nature are not enemies, but partners in our shared home called Earth. Every time lion lights shine in the African savanna, they light the way to a future where people and wild animals live in peace. This future begins with each of us, with our choice, to destroy or to create, to kill or to protect, to live in conflict or in harmony. A boy from a Kenyan village showed that even the most difficult problems can have simple and elegant solutions. We just need to look at them from the right angle and not be afraid to think differently. The story of Lion Lights is more than just a tale of an invention. It is a story of how curiosity can change the world, how traditions can evolve without losing their essence, and how technology can become a bridge between humans and nature. In a world where we often hear about conflict and destruction, this story reminds us that another future is possible, a future where a simple light bulb can save thousands of lives.